Look at commas with introductory elements. So what is an introductory element? Well, they can be one word that begins your sentence, like although, clearly, fortunately, meaning thankfully, first, luckily, actually. Words like that are all introductory elements. So for example, although I didn't go to school yesterday, I made up my classwork. Or luckily, it didn't snow, so we were able to go to school on time. There are also things called introductory elements, which can be a phrase. So for example, as of today, I no longer wish to use a pencil. Or don't forget, there's a quiz tomorrow. Or when I was 10, I used to like to ride my scooter. So the thing about introductory elements is they have each of these qualities. For one, they're always at the beginning of a sentence. The next thing about introductory elements is that they're always followed by a comma. They always introduce the sentence. They definitely can't stand on their own, meaning you can't just have a sentence with although, period. That's not a sentence. And of course, they're not a complete sentence. The part after the introduction is a complete thought. So let's take a look at some examples with introductory elements. Previously, that's an introductory element. The word previously is in the beginning of a sentence. You'll notice that it's followed by a comma, and it's introducing the rest of the sentence. So previously, Sam fell out of his desk. The next introductory element that we have is the word fortunately. So we have it beginning the sentence. It's one word in this case. It's followed by a comma, and it introduces the next part of the sentence. So fortunately, he did not get hurt. And then last but not least, we have an introductory element. This one is a phrase. So oddly enough, phrase meaning two words. Oddly enough, and our comma is after the introductory element and explains the rest of the sentence. He is still not careful. Okay, so you'll notice that after each of these introductions, we have a comma, and then the rest of the sentence follows after the introduction. So let's take a look at some more examples. You need to get the paint to use on the easel. You'll notice that I paused after my introductory word, which happens to be first in this case. So first, comma, you need to get the paint to use on the easel. I have my introductory phrase, and the rest of my sentence follows after that phrase to explain it. Next example. Thankfully, no one was hurt on the playground. In this case, my introductory word is thankfully. Now, I need to place my comma after the introductory word, so it's going to come right after thankfully, and it'll sound like this. Thankfully, no one was hurt on the playground. Well, I do love brownies. My introductory phrase in this case is well. I'm going to pause after that word, put my comma in. Well, I do love brownies. Let's do one more. Sadly, all of the cookies fell on the floor. First, I need to figure out my introductory. Sadly. My comma comes after my introduction, and then I explain the rest of the sentence. Sadly, all of the cookies fell on the floor.